So good morning. I'm Thomas Malone, director of the MIT Center for Collective Intelligence and principal investigator for the Climate CoLab project. And it's my pleasure to welcome you today to the Climate CoLab conference, we hope the first of many. We're here today to talk about what many people would say is one of the most important problems facing humanity today. That is, what can we do about global climate change? Now, as you all know, this is a very hard, big, complicated problem. All kinds of different aspects, many people and organizations are affected and can potentially take action. It's also a problem where the mostly top-down approaches that we've been using so far, many people would say, don't seem to be working very well. So all those are reasons for pessimism. But there is at least one reason for optimism. That is, we now have a new way of approaching really big, hard, complicated problems that wasn't even possible, say, 15 years ago. As examples like Wikipedia and Google and the Linux open source operating system community all show, it's now possible to harness the collective intelligence of thousands of people all over the world to work on really big, hard, complicated problems at a scale and with a degree of collaboration that was never possible before. So our goal in this conference is to talk about how these kinds of internet-enabled crowds and other kinds of bottom-up approaches can be used to help deal with the problems of global climate change. The conference grew out of the MIT Climate CoLab project, a project to apply this crowdsourcing methodology to coming up with ideas about what to do about global climate change. We wanted a place, as you know, or as you will learn more later this morning, the Climate CoLab includes a number of contests where people from all over the world develop ideas and proposals for what to do about different aspects of climate change. And one of the things we wanted was a place where the winners in those contests could present their ideas. We also wanted to help shift the public conversation on this topic from just discussions about climate science and legislation and ideology to a much broader conversation about what many kinds of actors throughout our society could actually do in the real world about this problem. In fact, our original plan was to call this conference, "What Can We Actually Do About Climate Change?" But as we talked to Ernie Moniz, who was at that time director of the MIT Energy Initiative and has since become US Secretary of Energy, Ernie kept urging us by saying, you know, a lot of people are already talking about what can we do about climate change. What I think we should do is focus on what's really novel about the Climate CoLab approach, which is the bottom-up nature of what's possible here. So he encouraged us to do that. We were convinced. We ended up calling the conference Crowds and Climate, as you know. And once we started down this path, we realized we wanted to involve the other groups, the other key groups at MIT working on questions of climate change. So in addition to the MIT Center for Collective Intelligence as an organizer of this conference, there are three other MIT organizations involved as organizers. First is the MIT Energy Initiative. Bob Armstrong, the director of that initiative, will be speaking in one of the panels tomorrow, and Rob Stoner, the deputy director, will be introducing our keynote speaker in just a few moments. The second is the MIT Sloan Sustainability Initiative. Jason Jay, who's right here in the front row, will be chairing a panel later this morning. And the third is the MIT Joint Program on the Science and Policy of Global Change. And John Riley, who's the co-director of that initiative, I don't believe is here right now, but will be chairing a panel tomorrow afternoon. Now, in our conference over the next 3 days, there will be three different kinds of elements. First is a set of plenary sessions, like what we're in right now, where we'll have 2 opening keynote addresses on both mornings. Second is a set of plenary panels. 2 of these panels will be about how to use the technologies of crowdsourcing, social networking, big data, how these technologies can be applied to the problem of global climate change. And the second type of panel is 3 panels about what 3 different kinds of actors in our society can do about global climate change. First will be a panel on what businesses can do about climate change and how crowds can help. Second, a panel on how crowds can shape government policies about these issues. And third will be a panel about how other organizations and individuals can help shape public attitudes and behaviors. In addition to these plenary sessions, we also have a series of breakout sessions where the winners of 16 of the Climate CoLab contests will present their ideas and, in conversation with expert panelists and the audience, talk about how the ideas can be further developed and how they can actually be implemented. In addition to these plenary and breakout sessions, we also, in the spirit of a conference that has the word crowds in its title, we're also enlisting various kinds of crowds in our activities here. First, all the sessions, both plenary and breakout, will be broadcast over the web and recorded for later viewing over the web. So in that sense, a global crowd is already participating as viewers in what we're doing. In addition, we are hoping that the global crowd can participate to comment and ask questions through Twitter comments in the plenary sessions and through Google Hangout in the breakout sessions. Finally, on Friday morning, we'll have what we call an unconference, a very loosely structured half-day where participants can form their own breakout sessions to talk about ideas for proposals for next year's Climate CoLab contests, or for that matter, any other topic they want to talk about. Now, we think we've assembled a fascinating group of people and topics for you in this conference, and we hope that when you leave later this week, you'll each be able to say that you heard at least one new idea, that you made at least one new friend, and that you were inspired to take at least one new action.